Democrats just stormed out of a closed-door meeting with Attorney General Pam Bondi over the Epstein files, where they say that she refused to commit to appearing for her subpoenaed deposition. The committee chairman called a congresswoman's questioning bitching, and a second set of impeachment articles against Bondi dropped this week. Meanwhile, Epstein's longtime lawyer is testifying today. Bondi's deposition is supposedly set for April 14th, and we are still exactly where we've been for months. Like, lots of political theater, zero accountability. But as far as the briefing, you had Bondi sitting down with the House Oversight Committee yesterday for what was supposed to be a closed-door briefing on the DOJ's handling of the Epstein investigation. Democrats, they say it was a setup from the start. They claim that they only learned about the briefing at the last minute. There was no press, no transcribers, Bondi wasn't under oath, no opening statements. Members were just given 3 minutes each to ask questions. Democrats believe Bondi held this briefing specifically to try to get out of the actual subpoena, right? The one that the committee voted on last month and that Chairman James Comer formally issued this week, asking her to testify under oath on April 14th. And when asked whether she would show up for it, Democrats say that Bondi would only say that she would follow the law.
She would not say yes. Filibuster, filibuster, filibuster would not say yes.
And it was clear from the minute it started that the Attorney General is trying to evade and not attend the mandated subpoena that is put in place.
We want her under oath because we do not trust her. Why don't we trust her? Because she's a liar. Look at how that Judiciary Committee hearing went. She was spying on members of Congress when they were in the DOJ looking at the documents unredacted. We want her under oath because she has shown that she is involved in a cover-up.
So Democrats say, they decided not to play along with this format and use their time to simply ask Bondi if she would appear for the real deposition. But what actually kind of triggered the walkout wasn't Bondi. It was Comer. Representative Yasemin Ansari said that Congresswoman Summer Lee directed a question at the chairman about what he would do if Bondi didn't appear for her deposition. And his response?
He decided to use that opportunity to say that she was bitching, and that's when we all just had it and walked out.
And Comer confirmed the language, with his statement being, I said Democrats were bitching and wasting everyone's time because Democrats were bitching and wasting everyone's time. But you had Lee firing back saying, if Comer wants to say I'm bitching, he can do it in a sworn deposition where it's recorded and transcribed. Also with this, you had Comer telling reporters that this walkout was premeditated.
It was very disappointing what the Democrats have done. I believe that was premeditated. They came out clutching their pearls, complaining that she wasn't answering any questions and things like that. The first three people to ask questions, all they did was complain. They said they wanted C-SPAN in here. They want the cameras, and very, very typical behavior.
You also had other Republicans defending Bondi, saying that she gave the briefing voluntarily. Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon claiming that Bondi did answer questions, noting that she said, I will follow the law at least 6 times. Dillon also calling the Democrats' behavior that of petulant children and adding so much for wanting the truth. And of course, because all of this happened behind closed doors in a room that Bondi specifically chose to avoid press and transcribers, the public didn't get to see any of it. So again, as some desired, we are just stuck with 2 completely different versions of what happened. Though with all this, the pressure on Bondi is stacking up fast. This week, Representative Summer Lee introduced articles of impeachment against her, the second Democrat to do so this month.
She has already been obstructing justice. She has already weaponized the DOJ. The DOJ does not have the right or the privilege of withholding information from an active investigation, ignoring the laws of our land, which the Epstein Transparency Act is.
Ranking member Robert Garcia also suggested that the committee could hold her in contempt if she doesn't testify on April 14th. And all the while, the depositions are still ongoing. Today, Epstein's longtime lawyer is answering questions. So also before testifying, he wrote, I did not socialize with Mr. Epstein, and I reject as categorically false any suggestion that I knowingly facilitated or assisted Mr. Epstein in his sexual abuse or trafficking of women. A statement that many, including those on the committee, have been skeptical of given how long he worked for Epstein. For now, this is generally where we are, and we're gonna have to wait to see if April 14th changes any of this. But I will say, and this is my opinion at this point, it feels like expecting accountability from this process. It feels less like optimism and more like muscle memory of like what things should be or had been in the past.